Hi, my name is John Gosman and shalom to you. Well, watching and tracking and projecting the coronavirus figures, I'm dealing with the so-called official figures, but I'm also looking at the unofficial figures. There are a lot of countries that are not providing these statistics. I don't believe they are giving the correct statistics. There's countries in Africa that are sitting on 40, 50, 60 new cases for the last couple of weeks. And these countries have got millions, hundreds of millions of people. And they're not showing the normal trend, not officially. There are stories coming out of those countries where there's a lot of people that are affected. That can be shown by China as well. China just stopped at about 80,000 and now they're hovering around 30, 40, 70, which is also not a true reflection of what's happening in China. So your European countries are showing the close to the truth or might be the truth figures. They can't hide it so easy as African and there's autocratic countries, dictatorship like China can. So if we really look at the figures that America has given, they went from 1,000 to over 85,000 within 15 days. And they're now the number one affected country in the world, which means they went up 85 times. Now, South Africa is following a very similar trend from 1 to over 1,000 cases, as America did, which means potentially South Africa in the next 15 days could have over 85,000 affected with the coronavirus. The health system and what America has been doing compared to South Africa is chalk and cheese. America started doing flight bans and restrictions and put things in place over the last 2 months. Today we've just gone into lockdown in South Africa, and it's really a case of let's wait and see what's going to happen. My prediction that within 2 weeks South Africa is going to be way over 100,000. And don't be surprised if South Africa becomes the number one affected country in the world. They're now sitting at 38. So let's see why countries are where they are. And Europe is way above on the list. And that's because they are providing the statistics. And it's frightening for the majority of the world that is not providing statistics. And then you can only imagine how bad it is. So let's look at the facts. This graph shows us which countries are within certain parameters of how many affected cases they have. Currently, the red columns on the left are bigger than the columns on the right. These columns on the left are shrinking. And if the red columns conform to this yellow line, then mankind is sitting with a very, very huge problem. And the same goes with the deaths. The red column on the left is shrinking, the column on the right are growing. And hopefully these red columns do not conform to the yellow line. The average new cases is sitting just over 99,000 per week. But within the next few weeks, the new cases will be over 1 million. If we look at the average cases per day, we find that within the first week we had 12,500 new cases per day. The projected average of cases per day is going to be over 150,000 within the next few weeks. On the 26th of March, the new cases went up over 72,000 in one day. The average for the new deaths per week is almost 5,000, and within the next few weeks we're looking at over 28,000 new deaths per week. The average deaths per day was almost 600. In the next few weeks, the average deaths per day will be over 10,000. When we compare the continents, Europe is leading the pack by far, and at this rate, within the next few weeks, there will be over 1 million of new cases. And the same goes for the deaths within the European continent, sitting at over 14,000, but soon to go over 100,000. What I've seen in these statistics that a country can quite easily go from 1 to 100 to 10,000 to 100,000. And as soon as they go over 1,000, it just flies. The numbers just fly. And nothing stops the numbers from growing in any country at the moment. There's no answer. The best thing you can do is isolate yourself, have no or as minimal contact with any person or anything or anyone outside of your house. So South Africa is sitting at that point now where it's going to grow. If they couldn't stop it in America growing by 85 times, I can't see that South Africa will be able to stop it from multiplying by 100, 200, 300, 500, or even more. We haven't got the capacity, and it doesn't look good. So I'm waiting like everywhere else where the doctors come up with a solution or a new vaccine or something, because there's no definite hope of not getting this virus. Prevention is better than cure. But if you do get it, have some medication or immune booster to help you get over it. Take care of yourself and your loved ones. Shalom.